Hey guys, welcome back to Mommy Loves to Read. I'm Olivia and thank you for joining me today. So I'm here today. I'm actually gonna talk to you guys today about a book that I recently read, and I'm really excited about this book. So the book that I recently read that I just fell in love with was this book. It's called Like Vanessa and it is by Tammy Charles, and it is a young adult book. And this book right here was just so amazing. I'm so glad that I found it at my library. I wasn't planning on checking it out. I was standing in line to check out some books and I saw this sitting on the shelf beside me, and I was kind of like drawn to it. And so that is why I checked it out, and I am so glad I did. So let me start off with a little story. So earlier this year, I read the book Well Read Black Girls. And that book is pretty much a book of short stories put together by a bunch of different hold on, I'm getting tongue-tied. It is a book of short stories of a bunch of different women, and they're talking about the first time they saw themselves in a book. And it's lots of different women. Some of them are authors, actors, just women from all walks of lives. And like I said, they're just talking about the first time they saw themselves in a book. And so as I was reading that book, I was kind of thinking back on my life, I guess, and because I've always liked to read. And I was kind of thinking, I was like, man, I've never really seen myself in a book or whatever, or I can't really remember. I didn't have that one moment when I read a book and I was like, ooh, that book just stuck with me forever, and this is why. Like, I've had lots of books that stuck with me just because I really liked them, but none where I was really like, man, I can really relate to that storyline and like I understand what the character is feeling or going through. And so when I read this book, Like Vanessa, as I was reading it, I really loved it. And at the end, when I was kind of thinking about it, I was like, man, why was this book so good to me? Like, it's just a good book in general, but there's something about this book where I'm just like I said, I was drawn to it. It was not a point for me to check this out. I've never read anything about this author or from this author. I didn't even know who she was. I was just standing in line and something about this book like called to me. It was like, you need to check this out. And you know what it was? What I realized was this was the first time I saw myself in a book. This book right here was just, like I said, it was really good. And I feel like the reason I was just so drawn to it is because I saw myself in the character, the main character, Vanessa. So in this book, you're following the main character, Vanessa. She is in 8th grade. She is 13 years old, and she's kind of at that age in life where she's trying to figure out who she is. She lives with her dad, who is very distant, and he doesn't really communicate with her. He pretty much works and comes home. Like, I pay the bills, I've done my part, don't talk to me anymore. And she also has her grandfather, who is a big influence on her life. I would say the grandfather is the one who pretty much kind of takes care of her. He is a war veteran, so he's kind of dealing with his own issues. He is an alcoholic, but he's a very interesting alcoholic. He only drinks Monday through Friday because he says he wants to be alert on the weekend so that when he goes to church on Sunday, he can be able to really praise God. And there's this other family member that lives with her, her cousin, and he is a young adult, and he's also kind of struggling figuring out who he is. Throughout the book, you find out that he is, like I said, a young boy. He's about, I would say 18 to 20. They don't actually say his age. And he is struggling trying to find his identity. He is gay, and he's kind of grappling with that in the community that they live in. They live in Newark, New Jersey. I'm tongue-tied today. And so he's kind of dealing with that, and the person, the young man that he is in love with is this guy in the community who no one, I guess, looking at him would think he is gay. He's actually like a gang leader, and so he's like, they're having this secret love affair and all these things. And throughout it, Vanessa is kind of trying to find her place in this family and figure out who she really is. I think I'm gonna have a little guest join me. My son is here. So yes, throughout this book, Vanessa is trying to figure out who she really is and how she fits into this family. And she doesn't have a mom, so she's really struggling because she's growing up and becoming a young woman, but she doesn't really have a mother. And so in this book, she really loves the Miss America pageant. It's like everything to her. It's her thing that her and her grandpa watch every year. And she finds out through a new teacher at her school that this year her school is doing a pageant, and she wants to join this pageant because her dream is to always be Miss America, but she doesn't. But she is afraid to, because she's like, man, I don't look like what Miss America looks like. She's African American, and she's like, I'm not the pretty shade of, you know, black. I'm dark. I have this kinky hair. I'm not super skinny. Like, I don't look like what beauty is supposed to look like, you know. And she's very smart, she's very studious student, and she does have lots of talent. Hold on, guys. Okay, guys, I'm back. I'm sorry, so I forgot where I left off. I think I was talking about Vanessa. So yes, like I said, Vanessa aspires to be in this beauty pageant, but when she looks at herself, when she thinks about herself, she's like, no, this is not, I'm not the right type of girl. And her best friend encourages her, well, I wouldn't say encourage, she does encourage her, she kind of pushes her, she kind of enrolls her in the pageant, and through the help of one of her teachers, the one who's actually kind of like over the pageant, she really discovers who she is as a person. She learns throughout this whole experience that she is beautiful, and she's beautiful because of who she is. She doesn't have to look like this person or that person, or change this or change that about herself to be beautiful. Like, Vanessa is beautiful because she is Vanessa. Like, all the aspects of her, or what kind of make her beautiful, and what allow her to have success in the pageant, and what is gonna kind of like allow her to have success in her life as she grows as a young adult and as a woman, and all those kind of things. So yes, and the way I kind of relate to this book, like that, growing up, I didn't grow up with like my dad or anything like that, but I did grow up. I remember being in that kind of like age group, you know, 13, 14, junior high, going off to high school, and kind of wondering like who I was as a person. Like, who is Olivia? Like, I don't look like this person, and I don't look like this friend, and I'm not very good at sports, and I'm not very like into these kind of things, and just thinking like, who am I? And I remember having people in my life like come alongside me and encourage me to just be me. And even through that encouragement, even now as an adult, I'm 28 now, so I'm an adult, just remembering that you just need to be you. Like, being you is what makes you unique, and what makes you who you are, and what's gonna draw people to you. And like, you being you is enough. I don't have to be like this person. Like, it's a good thing that that person is who they are, and it's good that they have those gifts and those talents, but it's also good that I have my gifts and my talents, and that's what makes me unique, and that's what makes me who I am. And so yes, I don't know if anyone understood that, but like I said, this book was really amazing. I feel like you should pick it up for any woman out there, whether you're a young woman or an older woman. Like I said, this book spoke to me, and I'm an adult. This book to me is just for everyone who's ever felt like I'm not pretty enough, or I'm not good enough, or who am I? Like, why am I me and all these people around me seem to have the good life, or have it all together, have all these talents that I don't have, and then there's little old me. But just remember, little old you, you're you, and you're unique, and you're beautiful, and you have the gifts and the talents and the quirkiness, and all those things about you make up you, and no one else can be you. So yes, I would definitely recommend this book. Like Vanessa by Tammy Charles. I actually have heard through the grapevine that she has another book, and so I have that on hold at the library, so I plan on getting that. And in the next book, it's following like another character in this book, but a little bit more like in depth, and so I'm really excited to read that book. So yes, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Comment down below and let me know, like, if you've ever read a book and you saw yourself in the book. Like I said, this was the first time I distinctly remember reading a book and like really relating to that character wholeheartedly, and being like, man, I know what you're feeling, or I can really relate to that. So yeah, comment down below and let me know, like, if you've ever felt that with a character. Maybe if you haven't, also comment down below and just let me know about those feelings or anything like that. So until next time, guys, bye-bye.